Today I'll show you how to install Apache and make virtual host. And virtual host allows you to have multiple sites on one computer. So for example, if I go to Chrome and I type in localhost, that's the normal place that it would go. That you would normally go to like debug your website or whatever. Or if this is a production machine, you might go to example.com and it would go to the site, but you might have example2.com and it would also go to the same machine. So what virtual host is about is allowing you to set up multiple domains on one computer, and the computer being able to decipher what HTML should be rendered and such like that. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that. You want to first start a terminal window, and you're going to want to install a thing called taskcell, just like that. And I believe this was made by the Debian in the Debian community. I'm not really sure, so we're just gonna go ahead and install this real quick. Okay, so now we have taskcell. Now we want to sudo. Well, we're gonna need root privileges for this, and then taskcell, and then hit enter. It'll bring you up to this GUI type window, and what you want to do is you want to go down to the LAMP server. LAMP stands for Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. In case you didn't know, you want to go ahead and, oh, by the way, to navigate you just hit the up and down arrow keys, and to select you just hit spacebar. And then we're going to go ahead and hit tab and then hit OK or enter. And this is going to grab all the files that we need. Also, if you guys don't need MySQL and PHP, you can just go sudo apt-get install Apache 2, I believe, and that will just install Apache by itself without PHP and MySQL. And in this process, if you go with taskcell, you're going to need to enter a MySQL password. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And okay, so once it's finished, you'll come back to the terminal window with prompt, and now it should be installed. We'll go ahead and check this now. We'll go to Chrome and type localhost, and you should get this screen. Now our next goal is to go to our site. So I'm gonna call this Penguin Programming, or actually I'll just say PPD. It's going to be called PPD, and we want to access it like this. Currently that's not here, so what we do, we open up a terminal and we're going to cd into a directory where it stores the local or the virtual host, and this is found in etc Apache 2, and then sites available, I think. Yes. Okay, so you have a default thing, and we're going to just use that as a skeleton. So we're going to sudo copy default, and we're going to copy it to ppd. Alright, enter my password, and we're also going to edit that file. So as you can see, I just copied default into a file named ppd. So what we're going to do, we're going to go in sudo ppd, and okay, so here's the thing. The server admin, alright, so in order to have your in order to have multiple sites on your computer, it needs to know the server name. So what this does is it's going to take the URL that you enter here, and it's going to Apache is basically going to map that URL to this, so they both have to match in order for it to use this configuration. And if you have if this is an actual site like example.com, you might have a server alias www.example.com, but in my case this is just for testing purposes, so I'm just going to do ppd, and the document root describes where to actually find the public HTML folder. And what I usually do is I put all my sites into the www folder, and then I do it by the site name, so example.com, or in my case ppd, and then I do public or public HTML, and I'll just do public, and that's basically it. If you need htaccess files, I know I'm not quite sure what you have to change here, but I know if you change allow override none to all, that will make it work for you. Well, anyways, allow override for the htaccess, yeah. But I'm not really entirely sure how that allow override works, so you might want to read up on that. Okay, that looks good. All we needed to do was add the server name in, and we're gonna Control X and then Y to save and hit enter. And okay, so now what we need to do is we need to enable that site. So we're gonna type A2 Apache 2 en for enable, and then we're going to type site, and then the site we want to enable is the new one that we just created. And I forgot to do sudo, and now it tells us that we need to reload Apache, so we do sudo service Apache 2 and reload. Okay, and now we should have our site, but remember we changed this to ppd public, so we gotta go ahead and create that folder now. We're going to cd into the var www directory ls. There's nothing there except the index page that we saw here, and there we go. So where'd my terminal go? Ubuntu, you have a bug. That's odd. There it is. Okay, so back to what we were doing. We were in var www, and yeah, this is the file. Okay, so now we're gonna make a directory called ppd and another directory called public, and in order to make 2 folders at a time, we're going to do the -p. And it turns out you need root privileges for this particular directory, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And as you can see here, ppd belongs to root. It's in the group root, and here you see the root user, the owner, has read, write, and execute privileges. The group root has read and execute privileges, and everyone else has read and execute privileges. We want to go ahead and change that. I'm going to change it to allow everyone, I don't know, I'm going to create a new group. I'm going to do group add, and I'm going to say, I don't know, www. That, I don't know, that makes sense, I guess. And okay, so we added our www group. Now I'm going to assign my my user, Robert, to www. Alright, so I just added myself into, it doesn't show here because you have to log out and then log back in. I'm not going to do that because I'm screen recording. So, but when you re-log in and you type groups, it should appear. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at this again. We're going to change the group from root to the new group we created, www. So we're going to do sudo chgroup, which is change group, and I can't remember if it's the folder or the file that goes first. Let's just do man ppd, or not man ppd, man chgroup. Let's see. Change the group you to staff. Okay, so it's the group first and then the folder. So we're gonna hit Q to quit, and we're gonna do sudo chgroup www, and now it's in the group ppd. Actually, I forgot to do something. If I cd in the ppd and I check my privileges, this is still root. I actually meant to do all of them, so we're going to go back to www, and we're going to do that command over again, except this time we're going to put that -r in there, which means recursive, which means it'll do every folder, every file inside of that, and within all those folders, and within all those folders. So we'll do that, cd into ppd, lsl, and although it's not a problem here, if you paste it in a whole site, that could be tedious to go through every folder and file to change the group to www. So -r just does them all. Okay, so we changed our group. Now this group will be able to manipulate this particular site. I'm just going to say www, that makes sense. And now what we want to do is we want to give this group privileges to this folder. Right now, the root user, the owner, has, this is the owner, root, has read, write, and execute, so he can do everything. But we don't generally work with root, so we're going to work with the group privileges, which is right now read and execute, which is not fine because we need to be able to write our files directly into this folder, or at least that's how I program. So we're going to change this mod. This lets us change privileges, and we're going to do -r because we're going to do this recursively just like the group. And then we're going to do 755. You can look up these numbers to see what they do. I just remember 755 does, or, well, actually in this case it would be 75. 5 is read and execute, and 7 allows you to do everything. This first number is what the owner can do. So the owner, we're just going to keep it to be able to do everything. The second one, we're going to modify to add the write permission. Right now he can only read and execute, which is 5, but we're going to change that to a 7, so he can do everything now. And then the rest of the world can still only read and write with a 5. So we're going to hit 775, ppd, and everything inside of it. I forgot to do sudo again. So now we just changed our group permissions. So now everyone within that www group can read, write, and execute stuff. So just to recap, we added a group like so. We named it something, and then we did gpass wd-a to add a user to a group. And the first one is the user, and the next one is the group. And now, because I did that, my user is in the www group. The www group is also associated with this folder, and this particular folder lets people of this group read, write, and execute. And also we did it recursively, so I can't type today. Oh, I'm in the wrong folder. How did I do that? Somehow. Oh, apparently when you cd with nothing after it, it brings you back to the home folder. That's interesting. We're gonna cd into pbd, and if you notice, since we did this recursively, this is also set. So now we can go in here, and there we go. So I think we're done with terminal for now. If we refresh this, okay, so gedit, and we're gonna type a quick HTML. Defaults. This is a brand new install of Ubuntu, so I'm going to change this real quick, just in case you guys want to know how I did this. And we're going to save it in file. You know what? I'm just gonna. Okay, so file www.ppd public. And this can be our index page. Okay, apparently I have to restart my session. Okay, so I'm back, and I restarted my session. So now I should be able to save into that folder. I'm gonna go into gedit and type this again. Index. There we go. And as you can see, I was able to save inside of that directory. And if we go here, I'll just do it like this. And as you can see, I have permission to delete it, move trash. I can create new stuff in here. So we have our permissions set correctly. Now, if I go to localhost ppd, there it is. Okay, so this is one way to get to it, and then the other way we want to be able to get to it is like this. Now, there's something you should know. If you're doing this on a lot of computers, you're gonna If you're doing this on a lot of computers, you're going to want to set up a DNS server. So what a DNS server does is it converts your domain names into IP addresses. So that's what we're basically doing here, but we're doing it on our local machine. And the way DNS works is it starts off at your local machine, sees like if the domain to IP address exists in your file or whatever. If it doesn't exist, then it goes up to your router. If your router doesn't have it, then it checks somewhere online, usually your ISP and then somewhere else, and so on. So if you do it if you set up a DNS server on your network, it will basically allow you to have all your computers on the network. When it goes to the router and the router tells it to use a DNS server that you have on the network, that DNS server will tell everyone on the network that you should use XIP for y.com or something. For now, though, we're just going to do it the plain way. It's on a local machine. It's only going to work on this machine. It won't work on anything else unless we do the same thing to the other machines or we set up a DNS server. And the computer that we're interested in uses that DNS server. Because if it doesn't use the DNS server, if it uses something like OpenDNS, for example, it won't find it unless your DNS server is before it gets to OpenDNS. Sorry, I'm getting over analytical. Let's just go and echo. Okay, so what this command does is it's just going to echo IP address to a domain name. So we could do example.com, for example, but I'm going to do ppd. And we're just going to hit enter. So see, what it basically does is it prints out this, which is nothing special. But what we're going to do with this is we're going to tell it to put it inside of a file, etc host. And you have to have root permissions for this file. Yeah, that's right. Ubuntu doesn't have root permission. Alright, so let's see if it works now. Apparently you have to be root for that file. I don't know why that is. Maybe that's a bug. You should be able to do that as sudo, but I guess not. Let's go ahead and take a look at that file to further analyze it. As you can see here, it just put it inside of here. Actually, I'm going to move this up. Forgot about all that stuff down there. Make this a little more neat. We're going to do 127.0.0.1 localhost. Or this is PPD. Okay. So what this basically does is it maps some host name to your IP address. So in our case, we're going to our local host, which is 127.0.0.1. So we're going to save that. And now, when we go here, we're going to type ppd, and hello world appears. We can easily do, for example, actually, let me create this, and let's look up google.com. So Google's IP address is 173 dot whatever, right? And we're going to put it in here, just type G. And if we go to G, then it goes to Google. So I don't know if you caught that. G. So we're gonna go to G, and it goes to Google. So that's how you map a host name to a IP address. And when it gets to your Apache server or whatever, it all it does is it checks your sites, your Apache 2 sites available, and then whatever your configuration name is, and all it does is it checks the server name and it maps it to that host name that you used. So that's how you set up a virtual host in Ubuntu. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.